How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews back with a little bit of side-by-side. Look at that, son. In the form of Trillium Brewing. It's their PM Dawn. Got a little bit of vanilla versus a little bit of coconut. Yeah. I thought I already did this one. A side-by-side of these before, but looking at the channel, I don't think I did. Maybe I never posted. I don't know, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it now. Let's jump in a sucker. Both of these are coffee stouts. Both of them are 9%. And this one just has vanilla and the other one has coconut. These come courtesy of my boy Bradley. We hung out in IRL. And he bestowed these upon me. So thank you very much, brother. And, you know, when I get two of the similar beers going on, then Daddy's got to do the side-by-side. What can I say? Who doesn't want to drink two 9% stouts when it's 98 degrees outside? This guy wants to. That's who. So, yeah. What does it look like? They look relatively similar. This one has a little bit of creamier head to it. Could be a pour thing, but I don't think so, because it just looks like it has a little bit of creamier head. Here's the thing, though. Makes sense over here. Coconut, the oils in coconut, if they're not completely stripped out of the coconut, will destroy and kill a head, just like the oil from your finger, all those kind of things. So it kind of makes sense that dissipated a little bit quicker. Outside of that, they look essentially the same, because they are. Except for that little adjunct difference. So, yeah, rich, dark, black, kind of malt ball colored, leaning into where I like my coffee to look like colored head. Let's get a nose. I mean, I'm getting just gobs and gobs and gobs of coffee. That's how this one comes off to me. Sure, there's vanilla in there, but even if it didn't have vanilla, the way these beers kind of come off, I would almost assume they would have it. So my mind might play tricks on me, but it's a nice roasted, and they actually, I think they call it cold pressed, right? With cold brew coffee, there's a bittering to it. There's a roasty, toasty bittering to it that I really don't attribute that to cold brew coffee. But you're definitely getting that in here. But it smells nice. It smells how I like my coffee. So most of the time when I talk about a beer, it's the head looks like the way I want my coffee to look like. That smells how I like my coffee to actually smell like. So yeah, we're doing a little bit of kind of reverse verbiage kind of shit right now. Anyway, let's dive into the coconut. You definitely get the coconut. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's like over the top, kind of balls to the wall, bonkers level coconut, but it's readily apparent, especially going off of this one, which doesn't have it, and diving into the one over here. So this gives me that big, huge coffee thump. With a little bit of vanilla. They actually got a decent amount of vanilla, maybe because I'm snorting the beer now. But I got a little bigger pop of vanilla on that one. On this one, it's that same roasty, toasty coffee, but with just that little dollop of coconut on it. It smells quite nice. Let's dive into the vanilla. Cheers. That's fucking delicious. That's really good. Man, the balance between the malt, the roasted malt, that rich, decadent chocolate, coffee-esque kind of maltiness, and the amount of coffee in it, which is the leader in the clubhouse, but not so much that it's just coffee in your face, and how delicately and deftly that vanilla is used in there, because it doesn't really come off super big in the nose, but it comes off just big enough in the taste to give you that kind of creamer portion of the show that I dig when it comes to coffee. Yes, I'm not one of those straight black coffee drinkers. I like a little cream and sugar. That's kind of how this is coming off to me. Absolutely fantastic. I remember loving this beer when I think it originally came out, when it only came out in 750s. I think I reviewed it. This one, maybe the vanilla, or was it just a base PM Dawn? Anyway, back then, and I dug it so much. This is pretty good stuff. I'm really pumped for the old, it's called coconut side of things. Cheers. It's nice. The coconut's just not at the same level of the vanilla over here. And I think it would have been a better thing for me to go from this beer to this beer, because even though, you know, they're relatively similar beers, and the only difference is the vanilla, I believe the vanilla is big enough over here to help kind of cancel out a little bit of the coconut over here. If I went the opposite direction, I think I would have got a little bit more coconut and then had the vanilla kind of trump that. But it's still a fantastic coffee beer. Rich, maybe less bittering than this one over here. You do, on that second big gulp, I do get a decent little kind of coconut vibes to it. Nothing too crazy. We're not getting to the point where we're dealing with copper tone level kind of coconut here. But it's nice. It's quite a bit more subtle than what we have going on over here. I mean, listen. If you give me a coffee beer and you give it to me done right, I'm pretty much one of the happiest campers on earth. I mean, it's one of my favorite beer styles. Coffee, and not even just stouts. Across the board, IPA, barley wine, the whole nine. It really is some of my favorite kind of adjunct. And both of these are done expertly well. And 99.9% of the time, I am almost certainly going to lean in the direction of coconut. It's probably my second favorite kind of adjunct outside of barrels when it comes to beer. And it's just a little too muted over here. Whereas vanilla, more often than not for me, is way too heavy-handed. At least most breweries are a bit too heavy-handed with it. That's not the case here. They've had the vanilla on lock as far as where it should be on this beer. So this one kind of ekes this one out. But they're good. No, both are good nonetheless. So let's see how the old cuvee goes down. Yeah, I poured too much into one thing, so it's probably getting a nice little side-by-side cuvee. It's nice. They're better individually, just because I think the vanilla was perfect on the other one. I think the coconut was slightly smaller when you get them both in the same glass. I think that roasted coffee portion of the show just rises above both of them. And that coffee and vanilla merges to where it's not, you're like, I'm getting kind of vanilla and kind of coffee, as opposed to I'm getting vanilla, I'm getting coconut, sorry, instead of coffee. Yeah. Not a bad beer by any stretch. But I just like them individual. So yeah, how do I separate this now? I don't know. So there you go. Awesome little side-by-side, Brad. Thank you very much for letting me do this. I mean, like I said, these are some of the better coffee beers you can have in general. So I went into these kind of expecting them to be pretty damn good, and they did not disappoint. So let's talk about it. Are these some of the best coffee beers? Non-barrel aged. Let's go non-barrel aged. Non-barrel aged coffee beers that I've had as well. Yes. Probably Mount Rushmore status, especially the vanilla over here. Like I said, I am a coconut junkie. It is one of my favorite adjuncts, but just how perfectly balanced the coffee, the beer, and the vanilla is over here is just absolutely fantastic and worthy of being on that Mount Rushmore. Value and availability, I actually don't know. Brad, let me know what's what when it costs this, or Nerd Sense guys, because they're always up at Trillium. They probably know, and leave you with, if you like what, will you like these beers? If you like coffee stouts, and you love you some vanilla, you love you some coconut, you're not going to go wrong. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of coffee beer right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.